I think if you spend enough time online, you'll eventually join a cult, whether you mean to or not. Recently, a TikTok user named Gigi Jarvis went viral for launching a quote joke cult called the Children of the Waning Star.
I'm starting a cult and you guys are all going to be a part of it.
This was a meme-fueled movement that essentially exploded overnight, complete with their own rituals, symbols, and a legion of followers. And yeah, Gigi Jarvis, that viral cult leader, she's literally my ex-girlfriend. I'm not even joking, bro. Yeah, crazy stuff. And it's literally just a complete coincidence. But you know how it is. We've covered just about every cult in the world on this channel, no exceptions. So we'll have to add Children of the Waning Star to the list. Now, this wasn't the first digital cult, and trust me, it's not going to be the last. From YouTube prophets and spiritual influencers with armies of their own loyal disciples, the age of online cults is here, and it's weird. So how do we get from Jonestown and Heaven's Gate to these TikTok trend cults and YouTube doomsday prophets? You and I have seen what happens when groupthink, loneliness, and a dash of charisma collide together in the real world, but what happens online? Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Because if she dies, we all die. That's why she's still here. And the people that don't see her as God, that don't want to admit it, that don't want to, they don't feel it, whatever.
You know how they give the shit to the fucking... You hear that word? It's a cockroach. It's the fucking lowest form that hates God. That's what a is. It's nothing to do with color. They switch that around on you too. Trigger, 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 trigger. They've turned you into a fucking slave.
Love Has Won was an internet-based spiritual cult founded and led by Amy Carlson, who went by the self-appointed title of Mother God. Using platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, Carlson and her small group of loyal followers built a bizarre and dangerous online theology that blended New Age beliefs like energetic healing, cosmic ascension, and channeling with conspiracy theories, apocalyptic prophecies, and a healthy dose of Amy Carlson's own delusions of grandeur. From the group's Colorado compound, Amy streamed daily sermons and energy updates for hours at a time, claiming to be a 19 billion-year-old being and the literal incarnation of God sent to save humanity. These live streams were relentless. They were full-on spiritual jargon, starseed babble, and high-vibration sales pitches, and all sorts of just like spiritual woohoo.
This is Mother and Father God and the Earth Allies, and we declare peace on Earth equal heart.
Peace on Earth.
Michael checked in 5D news and sees that Robin Williams had died. 20 minutes later, he appears in our bedroom.
The cult's online presence was constant, often recruiting vulnerable and lonely individuals from the comment sections of other spiritual influencers. Carlson's charisma, combined with the memeability of her messianic persona, made Love Has Won both a running joke and a real threat. Perfect example of how digital platforms can let fringe figures amass cult-like devotion far outside mainstream scrutiny. As the movement grew, the group's online activities became increasingly disturbing and exploitative.
I sleep 2.5 hours on this mission. I would cry when I didn't get 5. And I realized I was a fucking bitch on this mission. Weak ass fucking ungrateful bitch. Now every day I have no problem getting out of that bed, 2.5 hours of sleep, feeling fine to serve God.
I'm fucking God, bitch. Do you fucking think I know what is going on every fucking moment? You're a fucking whore if you don't understand that I know what's going on. Thank you. No, I'm gonna stay in here and suck my dick by myself, and it's gonna be okay. No! I told you the solution. No one is fucking responding or listening to me as God. No! We're gonna suck our dicks.
Mom is a no on drugs. We are not allowed to do drugs. She doesn't do drugs, and she has kicked people out of this field for doing drugs. Got it.
Followers were encouraged to donate large sums of money and even cut off their families, and if chosen, they would move in with the group to serve Mother God directly. Behind the scenes, Life and Love Has Won was a fever dream of psychological abuse and manipulation, and it's literally well documented, I must say so. There's lots of footage you could see of their interactions, daily interactions with each other. Amy Carlson controlled her inner circle with a mix of love bombing, rigid rules, and deprivation, including sleep and food restrictions and public humiliation.
So we're gonna play a little game now.
everybody up there, called Find the Whole. There is a Lilith amongst you that is sucking the energy Mother wishes and the Galactic wish you to discuss amongst yourself in front of the camera and find out who it is and call them.
Her health would begin to deteriorate due to her chronic alcohol abuse and alleged untreated illnesses, which she insisted were the result of her processing planetary pain. And her followers began live streaming Amy in an obvious decline, as she was slurring, incoherent, and sometimes nearly catatonic. However, the cult did not falter, as instead they doubled down on the mythology, explaining her failing body as proof that she was absorbing the suffering of humanity, fulfilling her cosmic mission. In April 2021, after Amy Carlson's death, authorities would discover her mummified body in a Colorado home occupied by her followers. Her corpse was wrapped in a sleeping bag and Christmas lights. Her eyes were missing and she was covered in glitter. This odd burial and mummification would make headlines worldwide, and even after her death, her legend only grew, and followers even insisted that Mother God was not dead, but had ascended to a higher plane and continued to live stream and spread her teachings as if nothing happened. The sensational circumstances of her death, along with the group's disturbing online archive, would prompt a wave of investigative reporting and internet sleuthing, like me, and Love Has Won would be exposed as an object lesson in the dangers of online cults, how algorithm-driven echo chambers and the promise of belonging can seduce, isolate, and exploit people until the leader's fantasy becomes mass psychosis. Even as the group fractured and splintered after Carlson's death, her teachings and the community she built online lingered, showing just how deeply internet cults can end themselves in the lives and minds of vulnerable people, even after the leader has left this earth. Sherry Shriner was an Ohio-based internet personality who, for nearly 2 decades, amassed a following through YouTube, Facebook, and her own conspiracy-laden websites. Proclaiming herself as a, quote, servant, prophet, ambassador, and messenger of Most High God, Shriner built an elaborate mythology that merged evangelical end times prophecy with a hyper-paranoid, sci-fi-infused narrative. Central to her teachings was the claim that the world was secretly controlled by reptilian shapeshifters, inhuman entities masquerading as political leaders, celebrities, and even next-door neighbors. According to Shriner, these reptilian beings were servants of Satan, involved in a cosmic battle against God and humanity. And her solution was the production and distribution of orgone, an alleged mystical energy device made from resin, metal shavings, and quartz crystals, which she claimed could repel evil aliens, neutralize demonic forces, and protect believers from government mind control. Followers all over the world would mail order these orgone blasters from Shriner, spending hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars in the hopes of spiritual safety and salvation. As Shriner's cult spread across social media, it evolved into a volatile echo chamber where reality was perpetually up for debate and paranoia was fuel for community cohesion, and she maintained close Facebook groups, YouTube live streams, and podcasts, dispensing apocalyptic warnings and naming public figures as lizards or soulscape puppets of satanic forces. As with most cults, the deeper members went, the more they were isolated from outside influence and family, sometimes giving up jobs or relationships to devote themselves fully to Shriner's doomsday mission. The consequences of Shriner's influence would go beyond tinfoil hat paranoia and online drama, as her teachings would be linked to real-life violence and tragedy. The most notorious incident occurred in 2017, when Stephen Mineo, a longtime follower, will be shot and killed by his girlfriend Barbara Rogers in rural Pennsylvania.
He grabbed me and he told me, here, put this here. He grabbed me and he told me, here, press this trigger. Oh my God, he's dead. He's dead. This is a nightmare, please. Calm down. What is your name? My name is Barbara Rogers.
Rogers claimed that Mineo had become convinced, due to Shriner's own teachings, that Barbara was a reptilian infiltrator sent to destroy him.
Dude, I am so up in the head right now, it's not even funny, man. Her little minions keep texting me on Facebook. They keep repeating all the bullshit garbage they're saying on her. Oh, she eats raw meat or something. Oh, blah, 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 blah. They lost their fucking mind.
According to Barbara, Mineo begged her to end his life, convinced that he was doomed. And Barbara herself would be found guilty of third-degree murder. This was not one of the only incidents that happened, as one of her followers, Kelly Pingley, was told by Schreiner at 19 years old not to waste the last days of Earth with college and to work as a transcriber for her Aliens in the News radio show. Kelly was told that the one true God was Yahuwah and took routine trips to New York to protest the New World Order. On December 28, 2012, Kelly would be found dead from an overdose of 30 sleeping pills while she was wearing an orgone pendant. And after Kelly's death, Schreiner sold replicas of her pendant online. Yeah. Even after Sherry's death in 2021, her legacy continues to haunt conspiracy subcultures online, as this whole reptilian theory is not new. And her cult serves as a stark reminder of how, in the digital age, fear can be weaponized and people's vulnerability can be exploited online. The Twin Flames universe, run by Jeff and Shalia Devine, is an online spiritual organization that's garnered a following across YouTube, Facebook, and various coaching platforms. Their core promise is simple. It's that everyone has a, quote, twin flame, this being a single, predestined romantic soulmate, and Jeff and Shalia can help you find yours, no matter the cost. These people sell courses, group coaching, and spiritual boot camps that claim to reveal the cosmic secrets of perfect union, and members pay thousands of dollars and often dedicate their entire online personas to the cause, with Facebook groups and Discord chats serving as echo chambers for the belief that all obstacles between you and your twin flame are just spiritual blocks that can be easily fixed with the right paid guidance. Now, this isn't just another weird internet subculture. Numerous ex-members, family members, and journalists have come forward alleging that Jeff and Shalia's teachings cross the line from empowerment into psychological abuse, as under the guise of union coaching, members are reportedly pressured to pursue unrequited romantic interest to the point of harassment, told that any rejection is simply just resistance from their twin flame, and that persistence will lead to a divine relationship. Now, this, of course, has led to unhealthy and problematic behaviors, and even in 2014, Ryan Gosling had to file a restraining order against a fan who claimed to be his twin flame. Man. The group's methods have drawn, of course, intense scrutiny from both media and legal authorities, and some ex-members have described being pressured into unwanted relationships, gender transitions, or obsessive behavior that left them alienated from friends and family. However, Jeff and Shalia maintain their innocence and accuse critics of misunderstanding their teachings, but that, of course, hasn't stopped mounting lawsuits and ongoing investigations into potential fraud, emotional abuse, and false advertising. Despite this, these two have not faced any consequences, and they continue to spout their beliefs to this day. All right, let's talk about QAnon. This is an online cult too. Y'all aren't slick. If you don't know, QAnon began as a series of cryptic posts on the notoriously unhinged message board 4chan, attributing to an anonymous figure only known as Q. Claiming to be a high-level government insider with security clearance, this persona promised to leak top-secret intelligence about a supposed deep state plot against President Donald Trump. Now, what started as just an obscure conspiracy would mutate into a movement, as followers who styled themselves as Anons became obsessed with deciphering Q's riddles and drops, spinning an ever-expanding mythology involving satanic rings, secret tribunals, and apocalyptic promises of the storm, a coming reckoning in which the deep state, quote unquote, will be finally vanquished. By 2018, QAnon had gone far beyond the image boards, jumping into Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and later Telegram and TikTok. QAnon's use of memes, coded hashtags, and research communities would blur the lines between fandom, activism, and cult members, self-identifying as digital soldiers tasked with researching and awakening the masses. Now, the real-world effects of QAnon's digital infection have been anything but harmless, as their belief system has driven its adherents to harass politicians, disrupt school board meetings, show up armed at supposed child trafficking hotspots, and spread disinformation about everything from COVID-19 to elections. Oh, yeah. QAnon played a visible and chaotic role in the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot, where many rioters wore Q symbolism or cited their Q beliefs as motivation. And beyond headline violence, QAnon has destroyed families and friendships, as it's led some followers to abandon reality entirely and spawned endless grifter spin-offs. Oh my gosh. Endless, man. Endless. Now, this is a masterclass in how an online cult fueled by algorithm amplification, social isolation, and this search for secret knowledge can leap off screen into the real world, creating havoc that persists long after the original post stopped. And in many ways, QAnon isn't just a conspiracy theory, it's a symptom of the digital age where reality itself is just up for grabs, and digital communities can become breeding grounds for dangerous delusions. Teal Swan, often called the spiritual catalyst, is a social media phenomenon who rose to prominence on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, peddling a brand of new age spirituality that's like cosmic wisdom mixed with personal trauma and a influencer aesthetic. And what started as a standard issue self-help YouTube channel would rapidly evolve into a full-blown movement known as the Teal Tribe, drawing in hundreds of thousands of followers seeking meaning and healing. Teal Swan's content features everything from guided meditations and shadow work exercises to unfiltered monologues about her own traumatic childhood and her alleged psychic gifts. She claims to have survived horrific abuse and emerged with supernatural insight into the human psyche, positioning herself as both a wounded healer and a kind of spiritual oracle. Many members of her audience don't just follow her advice, they treat her pronouncements as gospel and treat her presence at in-person retreats like a pilgrimage to see a living prophet. But for all the talk of unconditional love and radical authenticity, her influence is laced with controversy. Psychologists, ex-followers, and investigative journalists argue that the Teal Tribe displays classic cult dynamics. I mean, you and I have seen this before. Teal Swan is the unquestioned authority, dissent is, of course, discouraged, and the community functions with a quasi-religious fervor. The most troubling red flag is Swan's approach to mental health, particularly her fixation on and trauma. She frequently encourages her viewers to, quote, visualize their own deaths as a way of processing pain, which blurs the line between therapy and spiritual coaching, despite her having no clinical qualifications, and presents herself as the only person truly equipped to lead followers through their darkest moments.
I like to challenge people on that. Like, we shouldn't just assume that living is always right. And there's no point, really, honestly, in like being on this planet, especially from a universal perspective. There's no point really being on this planet if we're going to be dragging ourselves to be here all the time.
Because I want to be happy and I want to live.
That's also a cop-out. Because you don't. I want to be happy and I want to live is not the real truth for you. Do you see that? You're the kind of person who really doesn't actually want to live yet. You have not committed to life yet. So that's just a lie.
I answer you with what death is like. My hate groups are going to jump on top of me because...
Okay.
I'm going to answer it anyway, but for the majority of people here on Earth, death is such a liberation that you would give it to yourself. If you were suffering, you would give it to yourself. You've got a person who is not really enjoying life. They're going through the motions of life. A lot of stuff they're doing in the present moment doesn't serve them. So the cancer comes in and says, all right, you know what? You're at a freaking crossroads. You either get to change everything. I mean freaking everything right now. Or you're dying. That's what we're going to do with you.
There are even documented cases of followers who died by suicide after immersing themselves in her content, which has led people to accuse her of glamorizing or even enabling self-destructive thinking. Instead of having accountability, Swan would double down, claiming that she is the only honest one enough to go there, and that mainstream mental health professionals are the real danger. Now, Swan's followers, spread across YouTube comments, private Facebook groups, and actual real-world retreats, often cut ties with her family and friends who don't support her teachings, echoing, classic isolation tactics that we've seen in cults. And there's a ritualistic quality to the way her followers share their traumas in group settings. They seek Swan's approval and recirculate her language and worldview. And today she still offers her own little self-help programs, albeit they're more along the lines of like new age guru type things rather than occult material. But yeah. It's interesting.
I'm starting a cult and you guys are all going to be a part of it. The first thing I want to start doing is Victim of the Week, where whoever drops the funniest photo in my comment section, I'm going to steal your profile picture and become you for a whole week. Also, anyone that follows me, feel free to chime in on the rules to our little society. Like, I feel like holidays could be really fun for us, or maybe, like, we have a certain emoji so you know that you're in the inn, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be really good for us. Let me know.
All right. Children of the Waning Star. This group, or cult, originated in July of 2025 as what you could say was a viral TikTok experiment by user Gigi Jarvis, a self-described model and actress. Now, on a whim, out of nowhere, Gigi posted a video proclaiming, "I'm starting a cult and you guys are all going to be a part of it," and invited her followers to help shape the rules, rituals, and iconography of this new group. And what began as a satire of online community building would quickly snowball as within days, the group had a name, official symbols, and performative rituals like posting animal photos as, quote, sacrifices in the comment sections. The group's growth was meteoric as thousands of users adopted the symbols, filled their bios with cult-related references, contributed to fan art, edits, and memes, and in effect, Children of the Waning Star would become a viral, what you could say, role-playing phenomenon, blurring the line between fandom, social experiments, and a collective inside joke. Yet beneath this surface, the movement would quickly reveal the volatility of ironic internet culture, as while Gigi and early participants may have intended the Children of the Waning Star to be playful and self-aware, this cult label, which was delivered repeatedly with theatrical flair by Gigi herself, would attract a new wave of followers who took the concept more seriously than intended, and almost overnight, the group's Discord server became a hub for lore building and increasingly intense discussions. Some members began to report encounters with entities linked with the cult, while others wrote disturbing messianic propaganda about Gigi, hailing her as a godlike figure who would lead them to enlightenment or even salvation. And the recurring animal sacrifice joke would become a dark satire meant to lampoon real cult rituals, and started to raise alarms outside the group, spawning rumors of actual animal abuse or self-harm, provoking public backlash, as there was somebody who posted a video of them who had supposedly cut themselves, but there's discussion on whether or not this person faked it or was using makeup. But yeah, Gigi reveled in her cult leader status, mentioning that she would put on our resume, and joked about gaslighting her audience while soliciting more participation in this group.
I'm putting cult member on my resume, guys, I did. If you don't know, I'm a full-time actress model. Who even is she? She's so busted. Okay, I do commercials, and I started this year. But yeah, I got a call from my manager, and she was like, "What's this about cults I hear?" And I'm like, "Girl, don't even worry about it." Now that I've gaslit you into our cult, I'm gonna explain to you why I'm the perfect leader with all the reasons I should be canceled for. Number one, I was one of those cringe anime TikTokers in 2020. I might have started the Levi Ackerman x Alvin and the Chipmunks ship, but that just showcases that I'm really good at leading a movement. Number two is that I snuck into FurryCon, which showcases that I get the job done. Number three is that on my other account, I used to make videos saying run, don't walk to the TikTok shop, which showcases my heart is full of evil and perfect for the cause. I've also done a bunch of super evil, super really cool things, but I signed NDAs for all of that, so I can't tell you. But just know that I'm the perfect person for the job.
And when people would accuse her of irresponsibility, especially regarding the animal sacrifice memes and the apparent glorification of cult dynamics, she would rebrand the group as a community or fandom, later pinning apologetic statements on her TikTok, claiming ignorance about the harm that the cult label could cause.
Hey guys, so we're not going to use the word cult anymore to describe us. Which honestly makes sense, because we're just a community that uses dark aesthetics. No one is actually doing rituals or sacrificing an animal, I hope. Also, like I said in my last video, because of using the word cult and it being clickbaity, and it's the reason why the platform grew so fast, I would love to post resources about all of that. I'm looking into that right now. But anywho, I would still love to make the Wikipedia page, and I cannot write everything myself, so I will continue posting things that we can vote on, and I look forward to hearing what y'all say.
Gigi insisted she never meant anyone to be harmed, repeatedly stating that the cult was meant as a safe space for misfits and mentally ill teenagers that were seeking belonging. However, of course, these statements did little to calm the storm that came for her, as people who disagreed with her, especially survivors of real-life cults, would call her apologies shallow, noting that she failed to take any responsibility for enabling or even encouraging the escalation, and that her late-stage damage control was more about optics than genuine accountability and what really just seemed to be like a PR stunt.
Guys, we're going to be in the documentary about starting a cult soon. No, you guys are going to be in the documentary about cyberbullying a girl from rumors caused by groupthink and fear-mongering. Cult is a bad word and you should have known better. Okay, well, I didn't, and the second I did get informed, I immediately changed everything to community because that's what it's always been. And if it's common sense, then why did 150,000 people also put the little emoji in their name tag?
Yeah, all this happened within a very small amount of time. Meanwhile, members who had joined the cult for fun or companionship found themselves shamed and stigmatized, and some even began identifying as cult survivors. Yeah, this whole phenomenon will become a huge example of the contagiousness of groupthink and something that could grow into genuine psychological distress for its participants. And it's a reminder that when the lines between reality and, role play and irony blur online, someone ends up taking it too far and paying the price. Gigi's still facing backlash from this. One of the biggest points is that she literally got her degree in sociology, and she should, in fact, know better to do some type of shit like this, yet claimed that she didn't. And this whole event has shown how disturbingly easy it is to manufacture belonging or influence through simple rituals, symbols, and anointing oneself as a leader, especially among young, impressionable audiences or minors. Yeah, things could turn real toxic overnight. This isn't a I survived Gigi video. Nah, bro. Yeah, it happens. I don't know. That's really all I wanted to talk about today. Cults are bad. Take care of yourself. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, man, I'll catch you in the next one. Love you, bro.